Do you see how tanned he is? He's such an asshole. He looks like he's dying.
That's what a corpse looks like when it dies.
That's it? No, I don't think that's true. They're probably really pale, but he looks like he's got something in the middle.
Well, Michael Jackson looked like when he died.
No, he was white as snow.
I love Michael Jackson, bro.
You love Michael Jackson.
I know. He got me into pop music in like 95, yeah.
In 95?
95.
What do you mean, 95?
Well, I wasn't allowed to watch MTV growing up.
Okay.
And then, because it was not for children, as my father would say. And in the You Are Not Alone video, he's with Lisa Marie Presley. And Scream, he does a duet with Janet. And I thought that maybe I could see their boobs. So I started recording those videos and playing them in slow motion.
Michael's and Janet's, or Lisa and Janet?
Both. He had two. It's Scream, in 95. It's Scream Out and You Are Not Alone. So, two potential boobs.
When I was a kid,
Groups to see.
I was way younger when I discovered Michael Jackson, I think. I might have been 7 or 8. I remember I used to think in the video clip for Bad that he started out as a girl and turned into a man in the video clip. I thought that was the story of it. And I only found out that it wasn't. Fuck, I don't know. I remember vividly telling this to like other kids at school and shit, and they were like, "What are you talking about?" And I thought this for a very long time. And then I think I realized on my own how insane this logic was. But it took a while. Like, I should have found out way before I did.
Yeah.
That, too old. Wait, a girl can't turn it. He didn't grow a dick in the video clip.
Or did he? Or did he? I got rolling too.
Is that what you guys call video clip? No, that's a complete French term, isn't it?
Video clip?
Yeah, that's
music video.
Music video.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Total. That's what they call it
in America.
We were talking about Adam Cole's tan at the beginning of this, by the way. He looks ridiculous.
Is that a spray tan, fake tan?
All real.
Is it all real?
It's full of shit.
Yeah.
He went to spray tan.
Why is there a cane mask here?
That's my thing, the setup.
That's your thing?
Yeah, Kevin Steen show and have the cane mask.
I was in Minnesota this past weekend, and this kid, nice kid, 20 years old, wants to break into business. He drove me from the show to the hotel, and he told me, first of all, I'm the first celebrity he ever met. And I said, wow, your definition of celebrity is very liberal. And then he told me his 3 favorite wrestlers ever were CM Punk, all right, Kane,
I dig it,
and Gangrel.
I'm all about that.
I mean, I like Kane and Gangrel too.
Gangrel's awesome.
I never hear anybody say, yes, my favorite wrestlers of all time.
I wonder how Punk would feel about being
in that group.
Yeah.
I like Gangrel. I like Kane. I like Punk. They're good. My favorites. All right.
But see, how does he come up with those 3? He's obviously been watching wrestling for a long time. He was, what, 20? He
was 20. I think he started watching the Attitude Era.
Right.
I like Gangrel.
The only reason somebody would say Gangrel's their favorite wrestler is because he would drop blood from the
scene. It was awesome.
Right? It was awesome.
When we got the W the Music, whatever it was, volume 1 or 2.
It was 3.
Volume 3.
Yes,
they had the Brood's music.
I used to listen to that shit with my iguana. I had an iguana back in the day, and he would flip out. But then when the fucking Brood's music would hit, he would just get all calm and listen to it. And I think fantasize about biting my neck off.
Yeah. So we invited my friend over, our next door neighbor. We invited him over and had the camera set up, and then we played that music as it came down to the basement, while one of us flipped the lights on and off to create a strobe effect, while the other one jumped him.
Oh, I thought you like emptied some sort of red paint on him.
No, we split the blood. One of us, I forget which one it was, but that's how cool that music was.
Yeah, the weirdest thing I did for theme music is when I used to play with my action figures.
Mm-hmm.
I would have the music queued up for the guys' entrances, but for Steve Austin, I felt like the music wasn't enough. I needed like a special effect.
Sure.
So I threw a mug at a wall to do the glass break.
Wow.
But I'm stupid.
Yeah, you
First of all, the mug is not glass. It was whatever they're made of. Yeah. I threw that fucking thing as hard as I could at a wall. And it wasn't a brick wall or anything. It was just a regular wall. So it just caved in and stayed there. My dad came home.
That's a hell of an effect.
I was 17. Okay. Maybe not 17, but I was definitely at least 14.
Whoa.
Maybe 15. And I did this.
I was not expecting that.
I was at least 14, maybe 15. Yeah. I threw that fucking, my dad, and then I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And for some reason, I figured it's better to leave it in there. My dad came home, saw it. What the fuck did you do? Then in my head, I'm like, do I tell him the truth or do I try to make something up? But what could have caused this? Yeah. I told him the truth.
Yeah. Did you tell that at Steve Waffles' podcast?
No, I didn't.
You should.
I don't want to. I think he'd think less of me. And anyway.
We're all thinking less of him.
He, my dad, I think if he, at that point in time, if he could have went back in time, like he was so disgusted with me, I think if he could have went back in time and like not fucked my mom for me to be born, he would have done that. He was so disappointed. Yes. The only time I saw
there was a mug in his wall.
Yeah.
So
the only time he was, and it was his mug. The only time he was more
break his mug. So
well,
your options
they had like
either break his mug or break his wall.
They had like 5 each, so they could live with that. But the only time he was more disappointed with me is when I was 13. Me and my friend went to the mechanic near, like we both lived. There was a mechanic, and then I lived here, and he lived here. So we both met and went behind the mechanics, and there was like just a scrapyard of like just cars they don't use anymore, like used for parts. And we would throw rocks at the windshields and shit to break them. But fucking idiot threw the rock too hard, or he missed, and ended up hitting a good, like a proper car that was parked behind, and broke the windshield from that. And we got caught. And they called the cops, even though we lived like a 2-minute walk, and they could have just walked us to our parents. They called the cops, so a cop car drove me home. My dad was so pissed. He threw a trash can, like 20 feet clear across our parking lot.
And then it stuck into the wall.
No, I wish. Then I would have had something on him, but yeah. So, how are you?
Is this the Kevin Steen show?
It is. That's how it starts.
I've never seen the Kevin Steen show, so I don't know how.
That's okay.
What the
May I comment on the fact that your shirt and your hair match?
Yes, you may comment.
That's a skill.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've never seen your show.
That's not something you should apologize for, I don't think.
Christmas, the rest of Christmas dinner. I had a Christmas
The show reminds you of Christmas dinner?
No, well, just me saying, yeah, I've never seen your work. Do you know Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos?
No idea.
Okay, well, yeah, me neither, right? So, but he's friends with, or he's brothers with friends of the family.
In real life?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had Christmas dinner. It was like me, my girlfriend at the time, and like his family. And he's a pretty famous actor. He's on Sopranos.
Okay.
And I'm just like, yeah, hey man, he goes, hey man, I'm sorry, I've never seen you wrestle. I said, all right, it's all right, man, I've never seen your show either. But then he did put over Taz and Trish Stratus.
So did that make it okay to you that he hadn't seen you wrestle, but at least he liked Taz?
Yeah, he likes Taz.
Did you then in return?
I did a commercial with Taz. He was a good guy.
Did you then in return praise like Friends or another TV show so that I watch TV. I like Chandler. No,
I don't like Friends.
You didn't like Friends? How the fuck? What?
No, I never really watched Friends.
Get out.
Sorry.
So you can't say you didn't like it.
Sorry, Dave Degano.
Oh, that's true. He wrote one episode.
One episode, yeah.
And then he went on to TNA.
Yeah.
Or is he writing? What does he do?
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
I don't know what he's
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah. He's there.
So, how's it going?
I drove
12 hours.
12 hours.
Took me 12 hours to get here, but I should have taken me 5.
Yeah.
How long is it supposed to
We partied hard not hard, but we partied. Did a little bit of that. We went out.
Who's we?
Me and Truth Martini and Brian Gorey and Taylor Hendricks.
Yes.
Yeah, she just moved to Detroit, and so her and her boyfriend Joe came out, and so we partied. She wasn't that good of a wingman. She's no Scarlett Bordeaux. She's like the top wingman of all time.
She's your wingman, isn't she?
She's great. Yeah, she's a tremendous wingman. She would drive to my house, 2.5 hours, just so we could go out and she could wing me.
Yes.
She could be like, hey Scar, get those group of girls right there. Just open them up. Or then if I opened up, some girls, I started talking to them, and I was starting to bomb, I would just give her the cue, and she would come over and just clean it all up. She was brilliant. You can do anything when you have a hot girl. And you know, she's
The
very,
George Costanza theory. If you've don't tell me you don't watch Seinfeld.
love Seinfeld.
Okay.
But I don't,
You know-
I don't remember this episode. But.
I don't remember. I actually watched it just last night. But when Susan dies, he in the next season he's like
he already had a hot girl, so then
he steals the picture from Jerry's girlfriend, and then he uses that to get hot girls.
Yes, exactly. It's
yes.
social.
You're in the club.
It's social proof.
It's
yes,
okay.
exactly. Because hot girls approve of you, then other hot girls will approve of you as well. Yeah, she was brilliant. You know, she looks when she's all done up. Of course, she looks great when she's not. Love Scarlett. So yeah, you can go and do anything. Like I would, you know, a group of guys, I would just go like looking like me, and these guys look like they're in the army, and I'd show up looking like me and just sit down at their table, and like, oh, by the way, have you met my friend Scarlett? And I'm like, she's single, and then throw her at the guys, and then they're all about it, but they think I'm great.
And it works. It worked well.
It's been so long since I've had the touch of a woman, bro.
Really?
It's been so long.
How come? Is that Scarlett around the wing?
Scarlett and I were in the back seat of the van trying to sleep, and like our bodies were like half touching, like, you know, she's this way and I'm this way. I almost cried just to have a woman's touch on me again. Is that weird?
No, it's not.
Oh, you're married.
Well, here's the thing. No. I mean, I get the touch of a woman whenever I want it, but the thing is, it might be weird to people that are watching this now, but for me, it's not weird for you to be telling me this. Like, yeah, it makes sense for Jimmy, sure. Yeah. You remember Milwaukee after Ring of Honor show? I don't remember.
I was told about what happened in Milwaukee, yeah. When I went through a very devastating breakup, like, and it really just ended like that night of the show. Like that's when like the confirmation, I got this text.
I remember it.
It was done, and I just went on a rampage. If you watch it, was it January of this year? Yeah, no, it was January.
The show wasn't in January.
Yep, it was.
Wasn't it?
Yep, it was late
February. It was February.
It was January. Positive. Bet my life on it.
Well, fuck, I can't bet on that.
Yeah, like
can't bet against your
January
life.
22nd, 21st, something like that, in Milwaukee, and I'm in a 6-man tag with it's like Rhino and somebody else against some baby faces. And even if you watch that match, you'll see me go into the crowd and grab numerous drinks from the people. I'm talking about just like here, like the heels are taking heat on the baby faces in the ring. I hop up down off the apron, and I'm in like the second row talking about like here. You can see me as I'm walking out. This girl's got this drink. And I'm like, is it alcoholic? Is it alcoholic? Yeah. And then I go up on the stage, and as everybody else is celebrating, just downing it. So it was not one of my finer nights.
Did anybody notice this? Like in
they will now.
Oh no, nobody watched. Nobody in ROH management is watching this. Don't worry.
Okay.
So so what happened after the show is can we?
Yeah.
I'll
tell you this.
Yes. Please.
Okay. So I have to get the stories told back to me. You know, piecing these things together. I remember weeping uncontrollably into Revy Sky's chest for a very long time. Yes. God bless her. I mean, she was really, really nice. I remember that. She was being like really comforting, and I was just so sad. You know, the touch of a nice woman. You know, when you're sad. So she really came through.
That was after though.
Okay. Here's what I know. So that happened. That's what I remember. I woke up at my friend's house in Chicago, just not knowing, you know, left from right. I go on, my Twitter, and I'm getting these tweets from people like, hey, you made out with my sister. She says hi, and my buddy goes to me. He's like, yeah, I was on the ROH World message board. He's like, some guy was like, yeah, Jimmy Jacobs was drunk in line, making out indiscriminately with guys and girls, and I was so like, oh my god, like kissing guys, sure, like no problem. Fine, Bugs Bunny style, no problem. But like this person claiming like I'm making out with dudes. I'm like, is there a part inside of me that's come out?
And
so
then
I had to go to Kevin.
I was at the grocery store.
Fill me in.
This is what happened. I'm upstairs after the show in the locker room, and somebody says, I forget who, was like, hey, Jimmy's down there, and I think you gotta go get him. I'm like, all right. I make my way down through the doors that lead to the crowd, and there's a couple fans hanging out, and there's Jimmy just fucking talking and just, having a good time. I'm like, oh, that's fine. So then I start taking pictures with fans, and as I'm taking pictures with fans, Jimmy just jumps in. He's like, let me get in here. And then there's a girl, I'm taking a picture with a girl, and he jumps in, and he's like hugging her, and he's getting all, and then there's another girl, and he takes a picture with her too. And then next thing I'm taking a picture with some dude, and I look, and there's Jimmy kissing a girl. on the face, on the lips. Just the girl's, oh, okay. And then he just starts kissing her, and it was fine. He lets her go. She's fine. She's smiling. He turns, sees a guy, kisses the guy. No, like it wasn't making out.
Yeah.
Just, it was a little Bugs Bunny style, but that dude definitely did not expect it. Like, at all. He was like, oh, shit, oh.
But you had told me, like, you're like, Jimmy, you can't just make out with anybody you
then
want.
I'm like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop doing this. You can't kiss everybody. Like, yeah, I can't. And then you try to kiss me. And that's the last thing those people saw. Kevin Steen and Jimmy Jacobs fucking bust through a door, like 2 doors that open like this, like Western style, with you trying to kiss me, like, Jimmy, no! It must have been like a cartoon.
Like Newlyweds.
Yes, literally.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And then that was it. You stopped immediately. When there was no crowd, you stopped trying to kiss me, and then you wept uncontrollably in Rebby's chest.
Yeah.
God
bless her.
It's a pretty intense night.
Yeah, it was intense. Like talking about like Rebby like tweeted me the next day talking about like I'm praying for you. I'm like
on Twitter I saw
like,
that.
Like
yes.
What the fuck happened? That motherfuckers are praying for me. Like, jeez.
I also remember another
Pray
incident.
for me.
I remember another incident where you needed a woman's touch, and she was relatively new at the time. Like she hadn't been around Ring of Honor very long at all. It might have been her second show, and you just went up in the locker room to Maria and just went, "Can I hug you?" She was like, "Sure." And then you guys just hugged for
that was
a minute.
That was right after actually that breakup sort of lasted 6 months. The end of it was in Milwaukee. The beginning of it was Baltimore, Virginia, and I just I was so that was. I don't know if you remember, like I was devastated. Do you remember we had those new directors in for a minute, and we were the main event. It was us versus, I want to say, Davey and Kyle or something.
Yeah, I remember.
And they were trying to block shots. Like they were trying to, like, you guys in this corner, you got in this corner, and I was literally like laying on the mat of the.
I do remember. I remember
in the ring. And you're like, Jimmy, come on, get up.
I remember I had to tell you gotta get up, dude. You gotta get through this.
Around. Like,
I do remember that.
I mean, literally crying on the locker room floor. Then it's like, all right, gonna main event the TV, and then going out and doing it, and then.
I think I remember actually. I think I remember when you were on the locker room floor crying. I think I remember saying, "Hey, we're up in 5 minutes. You can cry after, okay?" And then I just pulled you up and we went.
And that's it. You gotta do it because the people don't care. They don't care about what happened at my home.
And they wouldn't have known that anything was afoot.
Yeah, no, we went out there and we performed how we performed.
That's what we do.
That's professional. Jake Roberts once said, "A professional is somebody that can perform beyond expectations in any physical or mental state."
You would know.
And I thought that was, him saying like a cop out, was saying like, yeah, that's why I can work drunk, basically. And it sort of is. But like for real, that's what a professional is. Somebody that can go there. You have a broken leg. You're drunk. You just went through this terrible breakup, and you still go out there and you perform like it's the greatest day of your life. And that is professional.
I agree. Yeah. It's no excuse to show up shit-faced, though.
Well, happens to the best of us.
So, what's with you say now that you haven't had a touch of a woman in a long time?
I'm a little picky with girls. I'm not picky when it comes to being held. Like, I'll let guys hold me, I don't care. But yeah, no, girls like that I actually spend time with. Yeah, I'm picky about that.
Would you consider Adam Cole touching you a touch of a woman, kind of?
I would let Adam hold me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Would you get satisfaction as a woman-like satisfaction?
Not quite. It's still like a little uncomfortable for me for guys to hold me, but I'm like, I'll let it slide.
Do you consider Adam a guy?
I do.
You do?
Consider Adam a guy.
I consider him something of in the middle. Because he's obviously a man's man, but he's got this feminine,
beauty about him.
Not beauty, just this feminine
prettiness
quality.
Where you want to touch him.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Steve Carino knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
if anything, Steve started the movement.
Well,
he pointed out to the world years ago.
I mean,
that Adam Cole.
I don't know when everybody else started. I started it independently of everybody else. Okay, if you watch the Evolve DVDs from 2010,
I have not watched.
They're good. Early 2010, like
are they out?
We would do backstage promos together, and like I would fuck with him a little bit, like in a sexual manner, and then at one point I cut a promo out in front of the people and said, if this building had showers in it, I would so Bradshaw that ass. About Adam Cole.
Oh boy, that is rough.
Good thing the building didn't have showers, though.
You weren't able to insert a soap up his...
No.
Jesus.
So everybody else started doing it. I don't know.
So you think you spearheaded the movement?
I'm not saying I spearheaded the movement. I'm saying it was independent of everybody else. I saw his beauty, whether other people were talking about fucking him or not. I was talking about fucking him, on my own.
I don't think anybody was talking about fucking him.
Okay, well I was talking about fucking him.
You were straight into it.
Yeah, straight up.
Why pussyfoot around it?
Yeah, he's beautiful.
So what are we gonna do about this touch of a woman thing then? We gotta. Why are you picky?
Well, I'm okay. First of all, I do like an attractive woman. I do.
Who doesn't?
I do like an attractive woman. But then you realize that most girls are just dumb and they're stupid and they're terrible to be around. Is this misogynist for me to say?
I mean, if it's your opinion, please.
I mean, I haven't been completely unlucky in the. Not unlucky. It's not lucky. It's lucky for them to be with me. I'm not gonna lie. That's how I feel. It is.
That's how you should feel.
It is how I feel.
You're a great catch.
Yeah, I'm not a good catch.
Yes, you are. You're passionate.
I let them know that right away.
Good looking.
Yeah, to some girls. Yeah, I let them know this right away. I let them know what I'm gonna say.
They are.
My dating philosophy is put your worst foot forward. Let them see
the worst of you.
Yes.
And then if they stick around.
Yes. Then it's like then they made the deal right off the bat. It's like signing a contract. If you have a contract here, I'm putting all the terms out right in front. Like, this is everything that's wrong with me. This is my contract right here. And this is everything that's wrong with me, and if you agree to move forward, this is what you deal with. So
it's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
When I wooed my wife, I put...
What?
When I...
Wooed?
Yeah, isn't that proper? Yes? So it's a problem. I did all kinds of nice shit, which I meant, obviously. But I kind of shot myself in the foot. Because after 3 months, I was like all out of big, nice gestures. And I was like, oh, okay, I think we're all right now. And she was like, hey, the nice stuff you used to do at the beginning, it's been a while. I'm like, oh, shit. I gotta keep doing that.
Keep expectations low, so then they go nuts over any little bullshit thing you do.
Generic the same philosophy.
I'm definitely coming off as misogynist right now. That is really...
Let me ask you about female wrestling, women's wrestling. Because we are talking about this. What do you think? It's funny because Shane Matthews of 3.0, you love them.
The guys I don't like.
Yes.
No, I like them, they're fine.
It's fine. I was just on a trip with them, and it made it on a bit of a Kevin's Weekend Escapades, a YouTube thing. He hates women's wrestling. He hates it. Yeah. It's his thing, almost. Yeah. What do you think? You're on his side.
If something's good, it's good. Like, don't get me wrong, I am the first person to admit when something's good. And women's wrestling does a certain sort of business. The shimmer thing, and they got their whole little thing, and the people are into it, and the entrance songs, they're over, and all that stuff. And but come on.
I've had this argument with a friend of mine who, there's a women's company in Montreal, and a buddy of mine works pretty closely with them. Like, he doesn't work for the company itself, but he helps them out. And I've had arguments with him where, I'm not saying everybody who goes to women's wrestling shows is a creep, obviously. But would you say that most guys that go...
That's a demographic, man.
Right. They're not going for the great wrestling matches.
No. I'll tell you, I've been to some shimmer shows, and it does have a certain feeling. Like, the girls are over.
Yeah.
If something's over, it's over. That's it. That's all that matters.
I'm sure it's built to that. But what I'm saying is the original attraction of that is not because, I'm going to go see some really good wrestling.
No, they're emotionally invested in these girls in a creepy way.
Right. But also, a lot of them probably, even if they're not emotionally invested right away, the first time one of the dudes goes to a women's wrestling show is probably because he wants to see attractive women fight.
But they're emotionally invested in that sort of creepy way, where it's like it's harder for us to build an emotional investment with people. With a girl, all you have to do is look at the people. I used to tell that to Becky, Becky Bayless. We used to date, and she was managing me, and when I was basically teaching her how to manage, as a baby face, I was like, you just look at the people. When you want to get them going, stare them in the eyes, because girls have that capacity to do that. If I reach out and stare at you, and you're a dude, and I'm a dude, you can sort of look at me and be like, fuck you. But a girl will melt the guy into a seat, more or less, and they'll almost feel like an asshole.
So she has to look at him in a vulnerable way.
Yeah, and
can't just be fucking
Jimmy,
staring
whatever, huss, and then she has that pleading look at the people, and they're more apt to respond to that because guys are more apt to respond to hot girls. That's it.
I have, at times, been on the receiving end of, somebody beating the shit out of me in the ring, and I've tried to do the, I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
And I have been met with.
Just look away.
Just look somewhere else.
They won't do that to girls. They won't do that to girls. Girls have it easier. Yeah, for sure. Girls have it easier. And you're talking about, since you're talking about doing bullshit nice things for people, and I just threw in Becky Bayless.
It wasn't bullshit.
Yeah,
everything
bullshit.
I did for my wife, I meant from the heart. I just fucked myself because I should have spread it out over like 2-3 years.
Yes.
I just blew it in 2-3 months.
So back in my younger, more romantic days, Becky Bayless and I dated. And after we broke up, she came to see me one time. And we went to the Warped Tour together, we went to Cedar Point together, and I was trying to woo her back into my arms. And Becky always liked it when I did manly things.
Okay.
Right? If one time I got a flat tire and I fixed the flat tire. Yeah, I can do that.
That did it for her.
Yeah, and she loved it, right? If I would
Fixing a flat tire is the way to Becky Bayless's heart.
Yeah, if I would eat all the food on my plate at dinner, she'd be like, wow, you're a big boy today.
What?
That was manly for me. Look, I'm wearing fingernail polish and my hair matches my shirt, dog. Like, standards are pretty low here. So she's staying at my house, and we're broken up. I'm trying to win her heart back. I was going to get a new car later that week.
Tell me you went to cut down a tree or something.
And she knew I was going to get a new car later that week. So I was living with my buddies. So when we go to bed, my buddy just goes in my car, opens up the hood, and just unhooks the battery. So, and she knows I'm getting a new car. She knows this one's falling apart. And so we go in the car, and I try to start it, and nothing. I'm like, oh God, I can't believe it. And so I go, and I'm like, this lasts me 2 more days. Come on. And I go and go in the hood, and she's still in the car, and I get my hands dirty. I'm like, try turning it. Nothing. I pull the oil stick out, get my hands oily. Try now. Nothing. And a little more. I'm like, I just hook the battery back up. Like, try it now. And, it turns on. She's like, oh my God, you are on fire. I'm like, what can I say? And then I bought her a burrito from Kyoba, and
was that considered manly as well?
We never got back together.
No, it wasn't enough.
That wasn't enough. But I
thought the burrito.
I fake fixed the car for her.
Did she find out it was fake?
That's love.
Or is it
maybe if she sees this, which she won't.
No, she won't. No.
But somebody might tell her. Feel free to.
Hey Becky,
tweet.
He's still a man. You're still a man. If anything, you coming up with that plan. Was it your idea?
I don't know his idea.
That's a fucking man right there. Yeah. I'm gonna trick this bitch to
yeah.
That's a man, I think.
To be 20 again and care about what girls think of you.
You don't care anymore?
No.
You don't?
I would say no, in a general sort of way.
I have a hard time believing that.
Really?
I think you care a lot.
Really?
I think so.
I always find it weird when people because here's how I am.
It sends you into self, right?
Right. When people start analyzing me, because I'm very unaware of how I come off to people.
I know.
Very much so.
I did an interview with Chuck Taylor earlier.
Yes.
A couple hours before you, and I told him that there's 2 people in wrestling that I got you now, but there's 2 people in wrestling that I've heard mentioned as being hard to figure out. Chuck Taylor. And you.
I've got, who did I talk to? R.D. Evans.
R.D. Evans,
I was talking to him, and he's like, I hear a lot of people say, I don't know if she likes me or not.
Tommaso Ciampa told me
I like everybody. I like everybody's great by me, We're all fine.
You're hard to read.
That's what I hear. So, I mean, so if you think, what I'm saying is if you think, I care about, what girls think of me or what other
I
people
guess
think
you
of
don't
me,
care about what girls think of you on the original meeting. But I think once you've gotten attached to a certain girl, you really care about what they think of you.
I don't get attached easily. But when I do get attached, that's it.
Yes.
Fucking watch out. Jimmy Jacobs, don't let go. That is the truth. Yeah, I mean, it takes a while for girls, win me over, for sure. But then, if and when they do, then it's claws are in, man.
Claws are in.
Claws are in.
That sounds so terrifying.
Once they've tamed me, I'm tamed.
And then the claws aren't in.
Well,
you mean their claws are in?
No, my claws. I'm using a different metaphor now. It's
switching left and right.
It's from The Little Prince, chapter 21 of The Little Prince with the fox.
The Little Prince.
No, it's French. You're French.
I know.
Petit.
I read the Rock's
Petit
biography.
What is Little Prince in French?
It's space.
Okay, that.
I still haven't read it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's good. You should read it. I cry every time. When the fox tells the little prince, the little prince tames the fox, and the fox tells him,
Have a nice day by McFoley.
No, it's only with
You
the
got thrown
heart
off the cage.
that one can see rightly. What's essential is invisible to the eyes.
Holy shit.
That's
I
some
don't know
deep
what you're
shit.
talking
Once
about.
you tame somebody, you've tamed them. You've tamed them for life. You're responsible.
So
for
there's
them.
no claws involved.
There's no clause.
That's
But
still-
like I'm just saying, there's a connection. There's a connection. Once there's a connection, there's a connection. My best friend from high school got married this past weekend.
Yeah, okay.
I found out about it over Facebook, dog, and I was like devastated.
That you didn't know this.
I knew he was engaged, and then I find out on Wednesday that he's getting married Saturday, and I called him right away, left him a voicemail, nothing, and I texted him the day of saying congratulations. But this is like my best friend, like all the songs like I wrote, the Bell Lacy and all that stuff, I wrote and recorded with him.
Were you still in touch with him a
The
lot?
last time I talked to him was after the Hoopla show in July, when I performed the song we wrote together.
It's sort of recent.
And so we're talking about July. Last time I saw him was when we finished up recording that song was February. So it's like, I'm not gonna tell a motherfucker you're getting married, dog.
Did he answer your text?
He finally did, because I didn't want him to feel like he had to hide forever from me. You know, you don't invite one of your best friends, well, I thought was one of your best friends, to your wedding, or do you even tell him you're getting married? Like, I don't want him to feel like he has to hide from me forever. So I just, hey, congratulations, hope today went well. We should meet up sometime. He texted me back something.
And now?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, we were friends, and we're like, a lot of people let go easier than I do. Jimmy Jacobs does not let go easy.
What does it take for you to let go, though? Like, what could somebody do to fucking make you turn on them?
You could... Nothing.
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 That's impossible.
Nothing. You could... I mean, I've had girls do all sorts of things. I've had girls go and date my friends, and then, after, we're dating, meets one of my friends, starts dating him, and I'm still,
Well, what about your friend who started dating the girl? About him?
I made amends.
So you still?
I don't know if we're gonna be like that, but like.
But you didn't let go.
I was upset at first.
Yes.
And I'm still, there's an upsetness about, I have.
Do you still consider him a friend?
If he wanted to be.
So if he made the first step,
I made the first step. I said water under the bridge.
But what I mean is, if he actively tried.
If he called me up right now, I'd answer it. I would ditch my interview with you and answer the
Really?
answer the call, yeah.
Interesting. So you really don't let go easy.
No, man.
What if somebody kills somebody? Well, your best friends just murder someone.
That'd be awful. But then you have to wonder why he did it. Like, what sort of awful place he's at in his life where he feels like
I was put in that situation.
Right, you did know somebody.
Yeah.
Right, up in Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been back and forth on him so many times since it happened, and it's been 10 years now, almost. 10 years. And to this day, I guess I can't. Obviously, he's a piece of shit, but I can't say that I hate, not that I hate him or anything, but I can't say that I don't care about what happens to him still. Mm. You know what I mean? And he's like, it's weird. He's like sent me Christmas cards from prison, and hey man, I've been following your career and all that stuff, and hey, I got this out of a PWI magazine that somebody brought me, and he sent me like the article about me that I already had, but he didn't know, And I'm like, how could this fucking guy have killed this innocent girl?
People,
you know what I mean?
People aren't black and white, man. People aren't. There are no good guys and bad guys in this world. That is a paradigm that skews up everybody's mindset.
That I agree with.
Cops
100%.
are good guys and criminals are bad guys, and America's good guys and Iranians are bad guys, and that is a dangerous oversimplification of our world. And you have to look at not to get philosophical on the Kevin Steen show.
Hey, it's what this is good versus evil right there. Mm-hmm. This mask represents a shade of gray that you're mentioning. Yeah. You know how many times this fucker's turned heel, babyface? He's a complex character. He's a complex character. Exactly. Yeah. But he represents what you're talking about.
You have to understand people's motives behind things. That people aren't all good or all bad or anything even close to that. People make mistakes. People do silly things to cope with when they're in bad places. I mean, I've got my vices.
Sugar-free Red Bull.
Yeah, you know.
What's up with this guy?
You know, some guys, you know, will bang a lot of girls. You know, some girls will bang a lot of guys. Some people will, you know, do drugs. Some people will, you know, immerse themselves in something else. You know, some people get in bad ways and do dumb things. And
I've said before that doing
I
piece of shit things doesn't make you a piece of shit.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, man. I believe that.
I forget in what context I said that, though, but it sounded pretty smart, I think.
It is smart.
So,
Doing piece of shit things doesn't make you a piece of shit.
I don't remember what the fuck I said that about. God damn, I wish I remembered. Anyhow, I guess we should talk about wrestling a little bit.
We could.
How do you like wrestling?
I love
How are
professional
things?
wrestling, man.
Yeah?
I love it. I do.
You love it? You have
I do.
love?
I've always loved it.
Yeah?
I've always loved it.
I could have
Except
sworn.
when I hate it. You know?
Exactly. There it is.
That's how it is. You know.
How long? What's the longest you went through a I hate wrestling phase? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, you can love what you do, but hate the people you work for or work with or the position you're at. If I could go out there and perform as a professional wrestler every single day, I would, for sure.
No matter of where or in what environment or any.
It's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, like I worked for Brian Dixon a few years back, and in 8 days we did 11 shows, and I loved it.
Yeah,
loved
I always hear great.
You know, I mean, he was paying me, you know, next to nothing, but still, I love doing it. I love performing. I love.
How did it all start?
How did what all start?
The
My
wrestling.
mom and dad, they banged.
So then, intercourse, baby.
And here I am.
Baby
Well,
grows up into-
my brother, 3 years older than me. And the thing is, my brother now has a PhD in mathematics from Dartmouth, an Ivy League school. He's got 4 kids.
You told me a story about you and your brother, and you visiting your brother the other day, remember? And in the morning when you woke up, and you were like, "Where is everybody?" That story.
Let me get it just to put some context in this. When I was very young, I was very into math.
Uh-huh.
Like when I was in kindergarten, they were learning subtraction with blocks, and you have 3 blocks, take away 2. You know,
That's
how
one.
many blocks?
There's one block left.
So they just asked like a trick question. The teacher goes, "Okay, you have 4 blocks. Now take away 5," just to trip everybody up.
That doesn't fucking work.
Then I just raised my hand. I was like -1.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I knew that shit.
You
in
knew
kindergarten.
that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I went up to the math teacher in 2nd grade, asked her what 195 times 195 was. It's 38,025. But I was really into math.
Okay.
My brother, not an academic, person at all. In fact, asked my dad why he needed to learn math when he was, in 1st or 2nd grade. My dad says, "So you can know all the numbers in your professional wrestling contract." Because my brother really wanted to be a pro wrestler.
Really?
So if you had told my parents 25 years ago, if you asked them which one of your children will grow up to be a math professor and which one will grow up to be a professional wrestler, they'd have put their lives, they'd have put the house, they'd have put everything they own on red. I mean, without a doubt, I was literally into math, he was literally into professional wrestling. That's like what we did. And somewhere along the way, we switched paths, and I became the person I am.
Why do you say with such disdain?
Well,
Jesus.
I'm the black sheep in my family. I mean, my parents are great people, but make no mistake about it. My father's a federal judge. My brother's got his PhD in mathematics from an Ivy League school. Devoutly Catholic, four daughters, a wife, and a nice home. I call my house. I'm like, yes, it's the other son. That's me. So when I went to my brother's. Oh, geez, that's a whole story. I don't know if I can tell.
I think we'll skip the first part. Just talk about going to your brother's house.
So I went there with the girl I was dating at the time, and we went to Steve Carino's wedding. And various things ensued at the wedding. And the girl I was with, she's a really bad drunk.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Is she ever?
Yeah, she's a really bad drunk.
I saw her in action.
Yep, she's and I'm a proper drunk, and I couldn't handle her when she was drunk. So at Steve's wedding, she basically got booted out. So we're leaving Steve's wedding and driving back to my brother's house, which is like 5 minutes from where we got married. And she's just crying. I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And she's just crying and crying and crying. I'm trying to console her. We get back to my brother's house. My brother, who already thinks I'm pretty much of a mess of a human being. My standing in the family is not that high. So for me to come here with this girl I'm unwed to, who, he had already made me sleep in the basement, and this girl sleep up on the second floor, as far away from each other as possible. So we get back to his house, 3 in the morning, I'm drunk, she's drunk, just a mess is making its loud, all this noise and stuff, just like, a bull in a china shop. Here I am at my brother's house. And she's crying, and I'm just like, just talk to me, look, and she's on the phone with her dad, and I'm just, you know what, I'm out of here, like, screw you, I'm going to bed. So I wake up the next day, like 11 o'clock, and I was like, oh, jeez, I have to deal with this girl now after I just basically told her to go fuck herself. So I give him the basement, I go upstairs, and I go all the way upstairs where she was sleeping, and there's no sign of her. And I go downstairs, and there's no sign of her. Like, there's no sign of her existence, as if she's ever existed. Like fucking Tyler Durden up in this bitch. Like, did I create this girl when I was really drunk? So I go to my brother, I'm like...
And at that point, she had been in your life for months.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
And who knows, maybe she's still fake, I'm not sure.
No, I saw her too.
Yeah. So I go to my brother, I'm like, hey, where is everybody? And he's like, oh, they're out. I'm like, yeah, who's they?
This
like,
is the line that
my wife and 2 children. I'm like, so not this girl I was with? He's like, no, I assume she slept downstairs with you. I'm like, no, that would be against your house rules. Of course not. And his wife comes back home. I'm like, hey, have you seen this girl? And she's like, no. She's like, have you seen our chicken? Not literally. She's like, no, food. She's like, it's gone. There's a bunch of pizza gone. I'm like, I have no idea where this food went. So I call up this girl, and I leave her voicemail like, hey, it's me. Just seeing if you're alive or if you even exist.
But you have her phone number.
Call me back. I mean,
you didn't make up a fucking Virgin Wireless account for her. So
well, you don't know these things. I don't know if you've ever seen A Beautiful Mind, but these things can get complex. So finally get a text from her saying she's at the hotel down the street. So I go to this hotel expecting her to be like furious at me, like I yelled at her and basically kicked her out of the house, I guess, I don't know. And I showed up and she was expecting me to be mad at her. Because apparently, unbeknownst to me, this is how it all really went down. So I say, get off the phone with your dad and talk to me. You know what? Screw you, I'm going to bed. I go to bed. She follows me down to the basement. And she's like, hey, look, come on, let's be cool. I'm like, yeah, cool, we're cool. She's like, I'm hungry, you hungry? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm hungry. So we go upstairs, raid my brother's refrigerator, hence this, this missing chicken and pizza and all this stuff. We go back downstairs.
I like, by the way, to picture you guys both sitting on the floor with the fridge door open and just fucking...
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. I mean, I don't remember it, but from what I'm told, it's very
similar. You only live by the fridge lights.
Yes. So apparently, we did that, and then we're downstairs talking, and then at some point, I just, in my drunken state, just lose my shit at her, and take her, the bracelet she gave me, and the scarf she gave me, I threw it at her, I'm like, get the fuck out of this house! Get the fuck out! And I kicked her out of the house. She didn't leave in a huff. I booted her out of the house and had no recollection of it, because I just, as far as I'm concerned, the night just went like, all right, I'm going to bed, and then I went to bed, and then, that's it.
I don't drink that much, but I've never been drunk enough not to remember anything I've done.
I've had some bad times, man. I've had some awful, especially early this year with alcohol. I think alcohol's a terrible fucking drug. Terrible drug. I've done a lot of other drugs, and I would rank alcohol as bad as anything, if not worse. The way it makes people act, and the way, give me a guy on coke, give me a guy on heroin, give me a guy on marijuana, give me a guy who's drunk. I'll take these 3 before I take the drunk guy.
I've never. See, I've no experience in drugs either. I don't. If I saw the lineup you just described, I don't think I could tell which one's which. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
People on heroin are mellow. People on coke are like a little like high strung. People on weed are mellow. People who are drunk are just maniacs. They're just throwing shit around. Like if you see like a drunk, if you've seen me when I'm drunk, like that's how you are in alcohol.
So
alcohol's terrible drug.
we were going to talk about wrestling, but we somehow ended up here. We were talking about love and hate with pro wrestling. So right now, you love it.
That's great, man. Yeah, of course I wish, I was making more money, and we all do. And
Yes, of course.
I'm getting paid for this, I guess.
Yes.
That was a perk to my weekend. Now I can have a Christmas.
That's the line you told me yesterday while I was at the grocery store.
So that's where things are.
And tomorrow's final battle.
It is.
It's the last show of the year for Ring of Honor, but what have you thought of this year in Ring of Honor for you? Be honest. Be honest.
So I had this story about the Sandman I was going to tell.
Tell me the story about
Sandman?
this. Yeah, sure.
Okay. No, I forget what's happened this year in Ring of Honor.
You literally don't remember.
You know when you're young and you remember like every match you had,
Yes.
and then when you get older, it's you'd have to like, go through what I did this year for me to even. We did the Scum Angle,
Yes.
which was cool. We had the 5-match series. We had a match in Minnesota. That was fun. I had a couple matches.
4.5-minute match.
Yeah, I had a couple matches with Adam Cole that were good.
Yes,
I had some with Jay Lethal that were good. Yeah, there was some good stuff. Yeah, no, I just.
Did you mainly?
I'm forgettable even to me.
But okay. You're self-deprecating. Too.
I'm
Did you know
very
this?
self-deprecating. I know
Very
that.
much so.
Yes, I know that.
You're not the only one, though. A lot of people are like that. Pac, even though he's pretty much a fucking
the god,
a Greek god with fucking millions of dollars awaiting him eventually. Chuck Taylor, very self-deprecating. Guess the three of you.
Yeah, I'm realistic.
Steve Carino tends to be self-deprecating.
I know. I know how good I am and how bad I am. I think I'm very well aware.
But see, that's a quality. To know that how bad you are sometimes and at some things. That's part of the good part. So that's just more.
So I'm the best professional wrestler in the world. Is what you're trying to
You
say.
could be.
That's how I
did a Q&A in England recently, and they asked. It was me, Chris Masters, Awesome Kong, Uwa Nation, and Hardcore Holly, and D'Lo Brown, the panel,
Yeah.
and SoCal Val. And they asked who's the most underrated wrestler. My answer was you.
Thank you.
Because of how passionate you are, and how creative you can be, and you are pretty underrated in the ring as well. But the problem is you self-deprecate like this.
That's the problem.
I think you put your limitations on yourself.
No, I know how good I am.
Look, but I don't know, like with your matches with Adam, you were really pumped for. They all came out amazing. You had a run this year where everybody was saying, "Oh my God, every Jimmy Jacobs match in the last few months have been amazing." Remember that? Do you remember?
I don't remember a lot of
You don't remember that?
Yeah,
I remember going on Twitter every weekend and hearing about how you killed it again in a match.
I was probably
this guy.
retweeting those. That was probably
You did retweet them.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's
Other people were writing them, though.
Yeah.
It's not like you were writing them from another account,
Or-
then tweeting it out, then signing out of said account,
Or-
logging back onto Jimmy Jacobs
Maybe-
X, and then retweeting that.
Maybe it was all Tyler Durden.
Did you think that's all it? Eh?
With boobs, yeah. It was all her.
Oh, you think she was? Yeah. That didn't happen.
No.
But you do self-deprecate. You'll do that.
Yes, I do.
So, what, in your opinion, was your best year in wrestling that you remember? Like what year in wrestling did you think like this is going great and this is a fucking good year for me?
Nothing. You can never say that.
How can you say that? I know when I've had a good year.
You can never, there's good moments. There's good things. There's some things I can point at and be like, that was cool.
You've never had like a full year where you think I've been rocking it. This year was fucking the best year of my career. That's never happened.
I'm assuming I have to have a best year. Sure, I suppose.
Which one do you think? I don't know. Then talk about your best moments in your opinion.
So my best moment ever was this. It was 2005, and I was on a show in West Virginia with the Sandman, and Delirious and I were the opener.
Okay.
And I didn't like the Sandman for personal reasons. Okay, I never met the guy, but I didn't like him. Okay.
Can you?
No.
Why?
It's a personal thing. So I just did not want to see the Sandman. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want anything to do with him. I just want, me and Delirious to work the opener and then to go up our day.
Okay.
Now, we work the opener, and at the merchandise table, I see the Sandman there. And we come to the back, and Sandman's just like, guys, that was fucking great. The best fucking opener I've ever seen in my life. Right? He's just all about it. So it's, it's 7:30 in the evening, and I've already made friends with Hack. So he he works and he works in what he shows up in and goes out in what he works in. So me, him, and Nate Webb end up going out together, and I'm still lukewarm on the Sandman at this point. And he's not the most hygienic person in the world. Like I said, he's wearing what he worked in, worked what he showed up in, and we go out. But he turns out to be like a pretty fun time, and he's pretty intelligent. He's like and Nate Webb's, he's like, I read all the time, and he starts telling us all these facts, and Nate Webb's like, all right, what's there to be the new deal, the fair deal? All right, we're talking 1933 here, FDR is president, and starts just rattling off all these facts. And like we're getting on all right. Like I'm peeing at the urinal. I've got the sparkly belt on I used to wear all the time. And he's next to me. He's like, oh, that looks like some shit Raven would wear. So Hack's touching with my cock out. So we're in for a night. So me and Nate go back to the hotel, and Hack's got some kid driving him around. And for this simplicity's sake, we'll just call him Mark. And so Nate and I are there, and we're in the hotel room, and I just got a DVD of me and like Matt Seidel, and so I'm watching on my little DVD player, and so Hack walks in the room, yo, what's up, guys? And he sees that I'm watching this match myself. He's like, oh, is this you? Let me see. And he just pops down on the bed right next to me and scoots up, like right next, like in my personal space. I complain I haven't been touched by another human in a while. I mean, this is still unsatisfactory to being touched. So he's watching it. He's like, you just need more. You need that. Yeah. You need that. Yeah. So I started doing that, actually, a little while later. I started doing like this a little while later. And it's like, you need that. You need that.
You mean you started doing that in the ring?
Yeah.
I've seen you do that.
Like that. He's like, you need a, yeah, you need to, yeah. And he's like, you need a one-word name, like Sting or Raven. I'm thinking those have already been taken. So Hack's just, he's fucked up, and he's walking in the room, he's in an arm full of like chips and pop and beer, and just like jumps it all down, scoots up next to me, starts telling me about my one-word name that I need, and he's just getting antsy now. He's just like, I'm a fucking menace to society. Hey, give me the phone book. Fucking grabs the phone book, calls up an escort service. And he's like, yo, give me a girl. No, not a gross one. Give me a fucking good-looking one. All right, cool. Fucking throws the phone book. He's like, all right, she'll be here in 30 minutes. So, 30 minutes later.
So it's you, him, and Mark.
Me and Nate Webb.
Oh, Nate Webb.
Nate Webb.
Okay.
So 30 minutes later, he's just talking about wrestling this whole time. And there's some interesting things he had to say. I forget exactly what. But 30 minutes later, we hear a knock on the door, and I'm laying in bed. And it's a hotel, so there's a little hallway. So I can't see what's going on. I only hear this. I only hear this knock, and I hear Hack open the door. He goes, "Oh God, you're terrible!" and just slams the door. Like that's it. And like the bar guy's like, "Wait, hold on, man. I might want some." And so he like runs out after this girl. And he's like, "If you want her, you can take her," and just walks right back. So this Mark guy comes back in the room. He's like, "Hey, Hack, can I borrow $200? Like, here you go, kid. Have fun." So he goes back out, grabs this girl. I still haven't seen her yet. So they go in the bathroom. He's like, "Oh yeah, can I grab the hotel room too?" He's like, "You can have the fucking bathroom." So they go in the bathroom, and Hack's just out there with me and Nate, and we're talking. And then all of a sudden he goes through his bag, and he's like, "Here, Jimmy, take this." Throws me the Polaroid camera. Stands up and just strips butt-ass naked. Now here's naked fucking Hack fucking knocking on the door of the bathroom. Yeah! No, it's alright. It's alright. No, don't worry. See? It's good. We're fine.
Okay.
Yo! Open up! The guy just like cracks the door just to see what's up. Hack just busts through. It's a little, his penis is hanging out. Just fucking gets up next to him and like does this. I take a picture. They bounce. He's like, I'm a fucking menace to society. He kept saying that. So fucking, I'm waiting for this picture to come out, and like, man, this picture's not coming out. Like, it's just, it's a Polaroid camera. He's like, what the fuck? Hold on. Strips his clothes back off. Yo! Fucking guy opens the door again. Fucking another picture. Again, come back out. fucking like, hack this fucking camera. It's like, man, this fucking camera out the second story window. There it is, the fucking camera. It's out the window. I'm like, all right, here it is. Here's fucking hack. The guy walks the girl out, and at this point I've seen what she looks like, and Hack was right. Oh God, oh God, she was terrible. So I see this guy like kisses this girl goodbye, like his fucking girlfriend. And then this guy mentions something about drugs to Hack, and they fucking bounce. Me and Nate Webb fucking fall asleep now. You know, it's in the middle of the night, probably 5 in the morning or something. We fall asleep. You know, no sooner we fall asleep, we hear, "Wake up, you fucking idiots! Wake up, you fucking idiots!" And you know, it's our half fucking alarm clock. He fucking walks in, yo, grabs his shit and fucking leaves. And that was the last we saw of him.
Why did he wake you up?
I don't know. Because why not? Why wouldn't he just fucking tell us to wake up?
He wanted you to watch something.
That's it. He wanted to say his goodbyes, I guess. I'm not sure. So that was like 21 years old and like scandalized. The first time, no, not the first time I've seen a prostitute, but you know.
But you were relatively innocent, Jimmy, at that point?
Yeah,
really?
At that point, yeah.
I would have left. That would have been
right.
too much
Like,
for me.
yeah. I mean, like at that point in my life, I was scandalized by it.
Right.
It stuck with me to this day, and now.
Imagine your brother in that.
Right. And now, at 29 years old, I'm the guy that's like, "Yo, guys, let's get a fucking hooker!
Wake up! I'm leaving."
Yeah. Somebody say something about drugs. And then,
Oh boy.
Yeah. And then.
So that's the greatest moment of your career. Favorite moment? Right there.
No, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite moments.
Come on, you can't not.
A favorite moment?
Do we have to go? We could go through the whole history of your career if you want, or we could just talk about.
It's a long career. Refereeing for Jimmy Snuka when I was 15 years old.
Tell me about that. I never heard this one.
I was 15 years old. I had a video company, so to speak, Jump Jack Video, so it was called.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was, I had a video camera. I would go record shows. But this is 1999. This is when wrestling was hot, kid.
Okay.
So there's a lot of shows, a lot of business to be done. And so me and my buddies were booked for the show. He's gonna pay me $50 to record the show. Like, big shit for me at 15. And I also had my ref shit with me. And he's like, Jimmy, I think we're gonna have you ref the show too. And I was like, oh my God. And
Did you record and ref?
well, I had my other buddies take care of it. They recorded it. I refed, and it was like all names on the show, and Truth Martini. I refed Truth Martini's match, and then Jimmy Snuka's match later. And Jimmy Snuka, it was like 15. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in the ring with Jimmy Snuka. This is awesome. And it was a big deal, Not quite as big of a deal as when I got a Nintendo, in Christmas of '89. Like, that was
Close.
when I look at like the highlight of my life, it's that. But I was
Nintendo.
Yeah, but I was really excited.
You mean the highlight of your life, if you measure it in terms of the feeling you had at that period? Because you've obviously had moments that were better than the Nintendo, but when you were a kid, the Nintendo was the...
No.
Come on, man.
I've got it on video of my brother and I opening up this Nintendo, Christmas of '89, 5 years old. And the sheer joy, the excitement, the happiness, about happiness?
I know.
It was a thing we used to have back when we were younger. In my face when I got that Nintendo. Unparalleled to any other moment in my life. I don't know why you're laughing, I'm serious.
Because I think it's cute and lovely.
Cute and sad and pathetic. But yeah, so my life's been all downhill since I was 5 years old. Culminating with this moment.
Generico has a Nintendo story, similar to yours. It's Christmas, and his dad decides that they're going to go get a Nintendo.
Oh, that's so awesome.
They go to the store, they get the Nintendo.
That's great.
And he's really excited.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, I'm going to play Nintendo. Oh my God, I'm going to play Nintendo. And they get home, plug the Nintendo in. His big brother starts playing Nintendo. Little Generico's waiting for his turn. I'm going to play Nintendo. I'm psyched. He's like 7, I don't know. He's 5, I don't know. His big brother's playing Nintendo for hours. Generico's just waiting. It's going to be my turn soon. I can't know it. Can't wait to play. Playing Nintendo. It's late at night. Generico's still up. He's waiting for his turn. It's been like 5 hours. His brother's like, all right, I'm done. Presses pause, shuts the TV off, and leaves. He can't play because
it's his game.
Can't
Pause.
save the game.
Yeah.
It's pause. So he goes, I can't play Nintendo. Nope. And that was it. He didn't get to play for 2 weeks at least until his brother got sick of it. Nintendos, eh?
My older brother is more gracious, I guess.
He let you play.
He did let me play.
Maybe you guys got.
But I mean, he was Mario. I was Luigi. You know.
So yeah, you had two.
Yeah, but I'm just.
I guess Jericho's family only sprung for the one controller.
Oh.
I snotted a little bit. I have a cold.
Me too.
So, all right. The greatest moment of your life was Nintendo. But you got to talk to me about your wrestling life. I want to know. There's had to be moments out there when you knew you were doing something special. When fucking Jay Briscoe's pissing blood on you you didn't like that.
I hated it.
You didn't. You hated it. Get out.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. Please tell me. I thought this whole time that you loved it.
No, I mean, I loved the visual of it. I hated the promo. I hated my part of it.
You hated the actual words? You didn't hate the fact that human blood was
No, I love
just...
that part. The visual was great of it. I'm all dressed white, he's bleeding, you know, I'm showering in his blood. Like, that part was cool. It's the promo that fell short. So I fell short. So I don't look back at that with, like, fondness.
Don't you think that maybe you feel that way only because a human being was being emptied of his blood on you? That's why the promo fell short? Because no promo would have been good enough to overshadow that visual?
No, there's a few issues with it, but...
like what?
It was long, it was...
It was long.
Yeah, it gave way, and I want it to be longer, too. It gave way too much. I mean, there's a lot to it. It wasn't the right promo at the right time. That's all.
Gabe was losing his shit for that. It was like a crowning moment of his career.
I mean, I loved what we came up with. I hated my execution of my part of it. That's it.
Self-deprecation again.
No, but that's just legit. Like, I didn't hit the home run that I should have hit that day.
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people still remember that a lot, very well.
I mean, but that was for the smoke and mirrors of it, for the imagery of it, for the...
You wish they would have remembered the promo.
I wished I would have said less, made my words count more.
I don't think anything you could have said would have been... It was too...
We're going to have to agree to disagree.
I don't think so.
Mm.
No, I don't think that works.
Okay. So you're right.
I love how this works.
News point to your...
What else? You won the IWA Mid-South World title at one point, heavyweight title.
I did do that.
How was that?
It was April of 2005, and the next day, that was in Heron, Illinois, and so I got two of my friends, God bless them, to go with me to Heron, Illinois, because then right after that, this is when that thing with Dan Moff happened, where him and BJ were tag team champions, and then Moff left Ring of Honor.
Okay, yeah.
And so Gabe had me fill in for the show in Asbury Park, New Jersey, the next day, with less than a week notice. It was ridiculous. So basically, we drove like 8 or 9 hours to Heron, Illinois, right after the show was over. And one night it'd be about right after the show was over, drove 16 hours to Asbury Park, New Jersey, in time to be late for the show to win the Ring of Honor tag team title. And then we had to drive 8 hours to Cleveland to do another show the next day, and then home. So it was horrific.
Did you had wrestled in Ring of Honor already though?
Yeah.
It wasn't your first show.
No, not at all. No.
Okay.
This is when me and BJ won tag belts in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
But you and BJ weren't a team at that
No.
point. You only won.
He was a team with Dan Moff, and Dan Moff was gone, and needed somebody to basically replace him.
Okay. When you won the IWA Mid-South, who'd you win it from?
Danny Daniels.
And how long were you the champion for?
That was April of 05 till January of 06.
Did you like the title run? Because
No.
I remember, I didn't know you back then.
Yeah.
I knew of you.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Well,
you.
we had Matt.
Yes.
We had Matt.
Disliked you.
We had Matt.
Yes, I disliked you because you kept telling me to smile.
Well, look, I was having a rough day, okay? Back to girls.
You didn't look like you were
Okay.
having a rough day.
I know, because I was having
You
a rough
kept telling me to smile.
Because I
didn't
was
feel like
trying.
smiling.
I was trying to be happy. I was trying to put on a facade
Oh.
of happiness. This is post. It took me a really long time to get over Becky Bayless.
Okay.
Right, a really long time. So this is maybe 6 months after our breakup, and I'm going to see her. Now, we're working in the same company, so I'm going to have to see her. We're in Philadelphia, this building that her and I have history in, and all this stuff. I was a maniac. I was a motherfucking maniac that day. Yeah, I mean, this is the fucking, this was on Christmas. I had driven to Chris Hero's house, and we played Monopoly, and they weren't playing by the rules, and I got mad and stormed off. But Monopoly, no, you don't know that. The story I told about the scissors days later, yeah, my interview with Steve. Get the interview with me and Steve Guerrero.
Hey,
and
it's a nice, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, with the scissors. I mean, I was a maniac right around this time. So me and Claudia were driving to the building in Philadelphia, and I'm just like, oh God, this is like, I'm dreading this whole thing. And he's like, come on, man, new memories.
Because she was going to be there?
Yes,
oh,
new memories, he kept telling me. And I was trying to play it cool. I was just trying to be like the smiley-ass motherfucker. So as I'm smiling to everybody else, in the locker room, it was me, I remember Brian Danielson, and maybe a couple other guys. We're back there, and I see Becky's bag. I see her bag on the table. These tables, they're like, like tables you see in wrestling.
Yeah.
The wrestling tables, right? So it's there, I'm like, man, fuck this bag. Fuck this bag. And I work hit it. Man, fuck this bag.
You worked at it.
Fuck this bag. And I pull my spike out. And I start fake spiking her bag. I'm like, fuck this bag. I've carried this bag so many times. Fuck this bag. And Brian and the other onlookers like, what the fuck is with this dude? So as I'm doing
at that point, they don't know you very well?
I mean, they knew me enough to be like, who the fuck is this weird-ass motherfucker fake stabbing somebody's bag? So I'm fake stabbing the bag. I'm like, fuck this. And I grab a chair here, and I give a winding run here, and I springboard off the chair and elbow it, right through the fucking table. Breaks the table in the locker room. I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to sort of like work elbow it. I'm like, oh God. And I just sabooed her bag through the table in the locker room. I'm like, oh God. So I just like put the broken table away, put a new table there, put her back at the table, nobody saw anything, guys. Cool.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, hey, you're Kevin Steen, man. Smile, bro.
That's
cool.
not what happened at all.
Whatever.
What? That's the worst retelling of the story.
I was trying to get you to smile.
Yeah, but that wasn't then. It was after the show.
It was after the show.
I was really tired. I was bummed
before
out.
the show. That was before the show. So I'm saying this is.
So you're just trying to
This is the maniac mindset that I am in. I just put this poor girl's bag through a table in the locker room. I'm trying to keep my composure. Jimmy Jacobs is doing great, guys. He is doing awesome. Hey, Becky, how are you? Are you doing well too? Because I am doing really well. You can tell by the smile on my face. And so that was the mindset I was in.
You had a great match that night. You wrestled Trent Acid.
I did wrestle Trent Acid.
I watched it from the crowd because I was supposed to have a spot on the show, but I got hurt. Generico took my spot.
Weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, and I remember I had never seen you wrestle before, and when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, he's awesome.
Thanks.
And then later you kept telling me how to smile, and I was like, man, this guy's a fucking douche.
Me and Val were...
Yeah,
we were...
Generico was there too. We were
at the bar
restaurant. Yeah, and you just kept... Smile.
I was like, smile, bro.
And I was super bummed because I couldn't do the show.
Smile.
I even told you that. I'm like, I don't feel like smiling.
I'm like, you should anyway. Everything's great, and inside my soul is just ravaged and torn and
You should have just
bleeding.
opened up to me. Oh,
Smile, bro. Come on. Smile.
Like 5 times. 5 times over the course of an hour.
Upset, bro.
Come on, smile. I'm fine. I just don't feel like smiling. And then you were a douche. In my opinion, you were a douchebag for years after because we didn't know each other.
I didn't like you either.
Yeah, see? Because I didn't smile.
No, I just thought you were worthless.
Awesome.
Yeah.
At wrestling.
Yeah.
You remember the 4-way we had when I had that short Ring of Honor run later that year? Or
05.
05. We worked together. The 4-way. You don't remember?
Not really. I mean, I know that match happened. It was me, you, Davey Andrews, and somebody. It was in...
Chad Collier.
Really?
Yeah. It was a very strange 4-way.
Yeah, it was really strange. Was it Buffalo or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I knew that this was going to be my last Ring of Honor show for a long time just because Gabe didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So that's when I started, and it was right after I met Austin, and he had given me that advice of always running my mouth, which I mentioned. Yes. So I did that during the match, and this is the first time I felt like I was over in Ring of Honor ever. Even though I fucked up moves in the 4way, I'm still over.
I can't say anything about
I remember it because I knew it was the last one.
I just thought you were just out of, you look like an out of shape 15-year-old kid to me.
I was an out of shape at that point. So 05. I was an out of shape 21-year-old.
You look like a little boy.
I did look like a little boy.
Face and your little body.
There's pictures of me when I was the PWG champion where I look like I beat AJ for the belt, and AJ he looked like he could have ripped my fucking head off like that.
You look like a boy. I was like, I don't get this. And then you grew a beard. The beard was the first thing that I
grew a beard in 2007.
Yeah, the beard. That's what I'm saying.
Years later.
And then
because I couldn't grow a beard before.
So and then when you grew a beard, I was like, that's a little.
The beard changed.
The beard started to turn over for me. Yeah.
You know, I remember something that always made me laugh is when Ring of Honor fans hated me back in that run, like the 2005 run. I would read the message board religiously, and I always get destroyed on there. But one comment always made me laugh is I read something about a match we'd had.
Who's we?
Me and you, where I fucked up a moonsault and got furious and was visibly upset during the match.
You and me at a match?
We never wrestled at that point in a one-on-one contest, and I had never fucked up a moonsault in a match. So I remember reading this message board and thinking, I have no fucking chance with this company. They're making shit up to hate me. But you hated me too.
Yeah, we all hated you.
Everybody.
You and Sammy.
Generico.
Al Generico. Yeah, he had more. He had a lot of new guy heat.
Him more than me?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh yeah, he was hated in 07.
Please oh, no. You're talking about 07. That I know.
07, yeah.
Jimmy Raves and
Yeah.
the Delirious
Yeah.
and Austin Aries.
Yeah.
Who
And
I'll say
I was with
we're
her-
all each. I think you're all full of shit. You hated him for no valid reason whatsoever.
No.
I even told Jimmy Rave to fuck off. Come on.
No.
Jimmy Rave hated him. Jimmy Rave hated him because he was too happy to be a wrestler.
He
literally told me this. He's too happy. He's too happy.
He was really if you didn't know him, like especially the way he would talk about matches and the way he would call matches, it would just be like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like just for 1 minute, just shut the fuck up.
Brian Kendrick would probably agree with you. Actually.
Yeah, I think
he's had a very frustrating experience.
Yeah. I mean, there's other guys too that were higher up in the company that were respected guys too that felt the same way about him. That I don't want to say here, but that we would all respect. Everybody in the world respects that he was as a ham and egg. It's the first time
I remember the people that were the hardest on him were Aries.
Yep.
I heard Delirious and Jimmy Rave.
Yep.
I got into a rave about it.
Because
I thought Rave especially was ridiculous because he was like, well, when you come into a certain locker room, you can't act a certain way.
Yeah.
But Rave had one shot in PWG, right? Like around the same time that we had started Ring of Honor. He fucking sucked. And Generico and I didn't make him feel like a piece of shit, even though we had been in PWG for years and it was his first show. We treated him like a human because that's what you do. But when we were in Ring of Honor, hey, come on, you got to respect the veterans.
Well, tell me,
that.
you know what? Tell me if some new kid didn't come into the company now and start like talking to you and acting to you a certain way, like calling the match, like, no man, I think we should do it like this. And
see,
hey,
that I can't speak
like
for
that.
because I wasn't in the same match as Generico was at that point.
Yeah,
but what I was being told why like those guys hated him was because he was too excited about his matches and shit like that. Like I remember Jimmy Rave. Listen to me. I remember Jimmy Rave telling me when they were in Japan that him and Pac, after a match, and they killed it at fucking Karakan Hall, they came to the back and they were both happy and excited about their match, and they were like, you should have seen them like talking like fucking marks, like, oh man, yeah, that went really well, that was a lot of fun. Like,
look, bro,
who doesn't do that?
Like, just when a new guy comes in and he acts like really excited and is talking a fucking lot and won't shut the fuck up, you calling the match, blah, 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 you're not gonna like him.
No, if it's ACH.
ACH.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Everybody else, I'm willing to tolerate.
ACH has the same heat today that Generico had back then.
I remember you actually, I think I actually compared him to Generico back in the day too. But I'm using I don't know about the other guys that you're talking about and the reason about calling matches and stuff like that. Because I guess I was used to it. I've been calling matches with Generico for years.
You should have shut the fuck up too.
I literally didn't give any input in any of my matches for a very long time. But I would say that Jimmy Rave and Aries, the reasons they had given me for why they disliked Generico, I think they were both ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what
they disliked them for being happy. What they was.
He was overly familiar. You know how he is. If he was here right now, he would come up, he would put his feet on top of your feet and just spread himself out. That's him. Yes. He makes himself too comfortable too quickly. I'm sure he's ramming himself all in NXT right now. I'm sure somebody's yelling at him for putting his proverbial feet up on the proverbial table.
Putting his hands down his pants.
Yes, right. That's what we call new guy heat.
This is very interesting.
Ring of Honor's always had it. There's always a new guy that comes in that doesn't assimilate well, that is really good, but either too gregarious or too outgoing or not outgoing enough. And guys
that's the
shit
thing, though.
And that's
back then. I remember in 2007 when we started, and I guess we had new guy heat.
Yeah.
Davey had heat for not being fucking one of the boys. But if you were too much of the boys, you were an asshole too.
In 06, Davey had new guy heat. In 07, it was Generico had new guy heat. Chris Hero had a year after that, Michael Elgin had the new guy. ACH.
Did he? I wasn't around.
Man, yeah. People were
I'm unaware of that.
Because he talked a lot.
I wasn't
and
there
I love Elgin, and I think he talks because he cares. Guys who don't care, those are the guys who don't say anything. But he cares. So of course he's vocalizing his opinion every chance he gets. So and I've got a different perspective on him now than I did when Ramy was.
So I'm curious because in 2007.
And ACH is the worst new guy he met.
Yes,
right?
but that's because it's
very similar to Generico. Very similar.
I don't know. I don't want to go that far, but
Hey, Adam Cole. Can I get an amen on that?
It's your show, Jimmy.
It's my show, asshole. Here's the thing. I'm curious now because in 2007 I was under the impression that you and Generico were good friends already. Were you not?
We became friends.
In 2007.
Probably 07. Yeah, probably something like that.
So you were part of the crew.
Well, wrestling's a small business, and
it's easy to know who you're talking about when you say the top guys that you don't want to name.
No, there's somebody who you would never even guess. Yeah. So, but the guys you just mentioned, I remember one time. This is how he was. Like he drove down. This was back when we had no hotel rooms, right?
Yes.
And so he drove down with a carload of guys from Quebec, and we had this. I forget. I think it was in Boston or something. And there's 6 hotel rooms or something. I think I'm rooming with Aries, and we all literally and they were going door to door, knocking, trying. Him.
But I must have been with him.
I don't think you were. I don't remember you being in the scenario. It was him and like.
Was it in New Jersey? Is that
maybe.
possible?
Yeah.
Because he did one show without me.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
So it was with 3.0.
Yeah. So there's very limited space.
Yes.
And we don't want these guys that we don't even know. And
yeah.
So he's knocking on these doors, and me and I think it was. I forget exactly. Aries, maybe Delirious, Daisy Hayes. I forget exactly. I don't want to name names that weren't there. But we literally went and we left our room and hid. We hid there was a park bench in some bushes that we were sitting there and hiding, and we were watching him go door to door and knock on these doors, so we wouldn't have to be in the room to answer it when he was going. And that's when they told me all the stories in Japan and him calling it his matches and stuff. And these guys are my buddies. These guys are guys that I've known for years. I don't know Generico from anybody else. So of course I'm gonna believe them. Of course, their word is good as gold. Just like if the Young Bucks told you tomorrow, hey, what's your name?
Andrew.
What is it?
Andrew Everett.
Andrew Everett. So if Young Bucks were it's Andrew Everett kid, fuck him.
I hate him.
Yeah, right. You hate him. You hate him immediately. So that's what it was.
Yes.
So okay, they hate him, I hate him, and that's the way wrestling works. And it's a very small business like that. But then. It was. I remember it was in Detroit.
It's hilariously hypocritical, especially those. Like you just said, those 2 dudes, because I remember seeing them talking to Generico and acting very friendly with him, and I find that repulsive, to be honest with you.
I mean,
I don't
work with somebody.
I don't now. I don't mind him, but I didn't like ACH. I wasn't acting like his fucking friend because that's not the way I am. I guess you know what I mean.
I mean, there's a certain when you're in the locker room, you've been there a while. I don't dislike ACH. I don't like ACH.
No, but I saw those guys
go
out of their way.
I went on my way to talk to ACH. To tell you were there when I talked to him about.
Yeah, but that was different. That was about the locker room and shit. They were talking about life.
Okay. I can't speak for those situations. I just know at some point Generico or I made a Wonder Years reference, and the other one got it. And it was when Kevin Arnold's in a band, the Electric Shoes. And one of us referenced the Electric Shoes, rock and roll, man, rock and roll. And I was like, yes, this guy. That was it. And then we were in Europe together in early 2008, and I was sick, trapped in this house for days, sick and.
I was so happy to see him.
And then
I remember him. He told me.
Yeah.
He once told me my parents, after I had left for a month, weren't as happy to see me as Jimmy Jacobs was happy to see me.
Yeah, we were in Glasgow together. We were in Scotland, and I didn't even know he was going to be on the show, I don't think. And I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, you just hold me like you love me.
Give me that touch of a woman.
That's the theme of the show. Hold me like you love me. Yeah, I need to be held like I'm loved.
So, how long did that heat linger for then for him? I'm curious because I mean,
it was still there in certain parts of the locker room in the office, even in 09. And I was completely on your guys' side at this point, for sure. I loved you guys by 09. Late 08, early 09. Because there was this impression, you know, from some of the guys in the locker room that, you know, Kevin and Generico, you know, they don't look like wrestlers. They don't know how to work. They do too many moves. They need to slow it down. Like, that was like part of the thing at that time. You gotta slow it down.
oh, you mean Pierce and Jerry Lynn and Aries?
Right, all that.
Of course.
Yeah. You know,
I remember,
you know,
Generico and I coming back from a match with the Briscoes in Toronto, and it was the first show Adam had booked. And we got shit on by Aries and Jerry Lynn and Pierce because we did a spot where I had a sharpshooter on one of the Briscoes and the other one was kicking me in the face. And I would sell it, but I would just shake it off and spit in his face.
What's his
which
supposed to do
people
now?
went nuts. People went nuts. And it was the fucking peak of the match when we were the main event. We fucking rocked it. We came back. I'm not gonna sell those boots anymore, so don't fucking sell them. We fucking rocked it.
Yeah,
and it was so hypocritical.
That happens in wrestling. There's that tunnel vision.
And that same night, you guys were bleeding buckets with that fucking strap match and pissing blood. And fucking nobody was complaining about doing less for you guys.
Blood's cool.
Come on, man.
Blood's cool.
That was such hypocritical bullshit.
No, I was on your side at that point.
I hope so.
When I would hear
I remember that phase. It was when Adam first took over, and it was, you got to do less is more, old school. It was so fucking bullshit.
The thing about that was that while other guys became less over, you guys kept doing your thing.
Because we were fucking great.
Every night. Never took the fucking night off. Not even a little bit. And I watched it. I was there every fucking night. Brian was the most over babyface on the show. You and Generico were number 2. Every fucking night, you know, you guys were fucking right. It was Brian and then you two every night. So everybody else that said, oh, you just slow down, work less, blah blah. These guys don't look like wrestlers. They're this, they're that.
Yeah, but you know, those were guys like Brent Albright. Who gives a shit?
Right. They couldn't see the forest for the trees, you know. And then
see, it's funny because at that point we had been there for 2 years. I feel like we were fucking practically veterans too because there had been so much shifting.
And that's the thing. You can tell everybody to go fuck themselves, and you guys more or less did.
Oh yeah, we did.
Just by your work. Yes. It's like go fuck yourselves, and you can tell everybody to go fuck themselves as long as you can fucking back it up. You guys backed it up. It was awesome.
But I feel like we were backing it up in 2007 already, even though the heat was there. We were fucking feuding with the Briscoes, and we were having killer matches.
Yeah, but it took some time to warm up to you guys. I mean, you guys didn't assimilate great into the locker room. It wasn't the most transition.
I'll be honest, I don't really remember that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that period. No, but I find it very interesting. It's stuff that even I wasn't necessarily aware of. I remember.
You guys were like.
I remember, this is the thing, I remember we were hanging out with Davey a lot too, because Davey we knew from California, and he was an outcast in the locker room.
He was big time.
And I think that was even worse. That was making us.
Davey was more 06. Jericho took some of the heat off of Davey. Davey was different because he was like oblivious. Like he would shut out the world. I love Davey. But I remember one time we were driving, I want to say from like Boston, New Jersey or something, and there's a whole van load of us, and Dave the entire time is in the back with his headphones on, not talking to anybody. And it was me, and this was when like Shingo was with the company for a while, and we go out, we're getting out of the van, walking the building in New Jersey, and Shingo goes, Davey Richards, maybe no fun. Yes, Shingo, maybe no fun.
Fuck, man. We've already been doing this for an hour and a half.
Perfect.
Usually I hit fan questions by the last half hour.
Okay.
But I feel like we haven't touched on too much wrestling, but it's fine.
Is it fine?
I think life, yeah. This was a life discussion, and then a Generico, everybody hates Generico discussion.
Yeah, I love him.
I like
He became like my favorite human being, you know?
Yes.
Until,
I know that.
But then he died, and Sami Zayn took him over, and I don't know, can you get a hold of him? Because I can't. What? That's weird.
I got a retweet from, not a retweet, I got a tweet from Little Sammy.
Oh, yeah?
It took Steve Austin to bring Sammy for
there it
Little
is.
Kevin. But I appreciated it. All right, let's get to these fan questions before my iPhone dies. Let's see. All right. There's a lot. You're a pretty popular cat. Yeah.
Really? That makes me feel good about myself.
Dalton Bailey would like to know, what is the general feeling in the ROH locker room, or you specifically, about not doing iPay-per-views anymore?
What was Davey Richards' answer to this in that?
Oh God, I don't know what it was, but you better not say that
The
one.
opposite of David Richards' answer in that interview. I don't think it's like a huge.
You think it was a good decision? I think it was.
I think that if the technology doesn't match the vision, then there's no point in continuing forward.
It's too faulty a technology to get it right every time. It's
And then you just ruin the trust of the fans.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. Alex Khalil would like to know: is there anything with the Age of the Fall you wish you could have done that you didn't get to do? So, like a feud, or an angle, or a title win, or anything like that you wish would have happened.
I mean, I wish I would have cut that promo better when we debuted. I wish me and Tyler's separation would have been different. I really do. I wish we would have come up with something more creative than I just turn on him, we feud, and then that's the end of it.
Tushar Agarwal. I swear that's his name. I swear.
Sure, I'll go. Good fun.
What advice would you give young pro wrestlers to stop themselves from falling into any of the vices that you may have experienced?
Vices, Jimmy Jacobs, never.
Is that it?
Just I don't know. Do what you want. Like, I don't, like, who am I to say do or don't do something? Like, do whatever you want. Yeah.
Nobody wants advice on what. So what you're saying is, I don't know. You don't have a way of not.
What? Like, is he saying
I guess he's asking
advice to not do drugs?
I guess
Don't
he's
do
asking.
that. Don't do. Don't.
Right,
don't do
that's
it.
simple
it.
enough.
It
Just
really
say
is.
no. Just don't fucking
Don't
do
say
it.
no. That's
What
so
do you
that's so
mean?
80s. That's so Nancy Reagan.
I say no all the time.
Who's offering you
Well,
drugs?
nobody's
Thanks,
offering
right.
years.
Nobody's offering drugs.
The 2 times or 3
Really?
times 7 years ago, I said no.
Anybody offering drugs? Nobody's saying no to.
Mr. Chicago I don't know. From Tyler. His name's Tyler.
Tyler.
I've noticed you've been using the contra code from the top rope a lot recently. Do you ever get nervous when you do it?
Every day of my life.
You almost ate shit on one at AAW.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I can't.
That was fucking
I'm
scary.
a lousy athlete.
It wasn't you.
The guy has to do a lot of the work.
You kind of need a little shove in the right direction, and it wasn't there for you. Donovan Lee, Age of the Fall was amazing. That's a fuck. Donovan,
Perfect.
that question was already asked.
Thank you.
No, he was looking back. Would you have done anything differently? Too late, Donovan. Fuck yourself. Thanks for the question. Theo wants to know if you could permanently ban one wrestling move from ever being used again, what would it be and why? It's pretty interesting.
Is it?
I think so. Is there any for you?
I wouldn't say so.
No?
I think this whole ban on things is just. I think. It's
Is there a move that you took that you'd never take again? Same question.
I would never do a barbed wire match personally again, but I want to see barbed wire matches. I think the ban on chair shots to the head and this like no bleeding thing is ridiculous. I want to see guys bleed.
It's funny
I want to
because
bleed all the time.
Obviously, one of the big, one of the guys that pushes that a lot is Nigel.
Nigel.
You and Nigel are very close.
We are, and
You guys ever talk about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we butt heads about it. Yeah. I like blood in wrestling. I want to see blood in wrestling. You see all these great moments. You think a lot of great moments in wrestling. We look at Steve Austin in the sharpshooter at WrestleMania 13. Bret Hart's got him in it, and
I remember it very well.
Yeah, he's pushing up, and the blood's rushing down his face. The blood, bro.
It hits him in the teeth.
Yeah,
Right here.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, the draw.
Yep.
Had a
I mean,
t-shirt.
blood and wrestling are synonymous, and taking it away from wrestling is like we're trying to be safe about something. We're wrestlers. We're idiots. Like by definition, what we do is dangerous. So taking away a chair shot to the head or a little bit of this doesn't mean anything. It's not going to make it all of a sudden safer. Like
I think
you get hurt. That's
you know,
wrestling.
the thing about the blood. Obviously, the health risks, in my opinion, are a good enough reason to not do it anymore.
So get blood tested. Good.
Yes, but I think the best reason to not do it is because now it's gotten silly, because everybody knows how we do it. It's not, oh shit, he's bleeding. The reaction is not, oh shit, he cut himself. That's what I feel.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know. I think so. Now we can agree to disagree,
Yeah.
because I say so. James Frank, have you and M-Dog ever tagged? I don't know why you'd ask that.
Jeez, I have a line for that. All right, we're just gonna leave it at that. We're just gonna not. Maybe. I'm not. If we have.
You don't know. All right. Melissa DeVoe is wondering, what is the wackiest ICP related or JCW related event that you've ever witnessed or been a part of?
lot with their fans, just the way they throw stuff in the ring. And I mean, my first match back after ACL surgery was with Ultimate Dragon. And by the time I got in the ring, of course there's soda, there's cans and bottles.
For the Juggalo?
Yeah. But there was
Ultimo Dragon?
Ultimo Dragon. And there's like spaghetti. What? I remember there's crackers. There looked like some sort of like fried meat in the ring. Yeah, I mean it was terrible. Yeah, those fans can be brutal.
I did one of their shows recently.
Yeah. I love working for them. I really do. And when they don't throw stuff, they're great.
She also wants you to tell a story about when some neighborhood kids stole your trampoline.
Yeah. I lived on the edge of the ghetto, like literally the edge. Like, on one side of my house, this guy would be outside gardening all the time. On the other side of my house, one day on it was a cold December day, I was inside, and the house was old, but it also got really warm really quickly. I was like, man, it is really warm in this house all of a sudden. And we looked outside, and our other house on the other side is on fire because there's a meth lab in there. So literally, it was the edge of the ghetto. Like I'm where the ghetto. Like our house got broken into a couple times when our cars got broken into, and
but only the half that was on the side.
Yeah,
of the
right. Yes,
just the other half was untouched. You can't go. No, the TV stays. Take the couch.
So we had a big trampoline in our backyard, and I remember I was in Asbury Park actually, and my buddy calls me up, and it was the day after April Fool's Day. He's like, "Did you take the trampoline as like for an April Fool's Day joke?" I'm like, "No." And it turned out somebody stole our trampoline, like a big ass trampoline, out of our backyard. So me and my friend Sarah, we were walking around the block, and there was this fence on the other side of the block, and all of a sudden we just see these little heads just bouncing up and down, you know, on the other side of the fence, and we look around, and sure enough, it's our trampoline. So me looking like me with this girl with my other buddy who doesn't look a whole lot different than me. We like, you know, in the ghetto-ish, you know, these ghetto people are like going there with our makeup on, saying, "Excuse me, you have a trampoline? Yeah, we're just gonna take that back." And we did.
They didn't fight you?
No.
Cool.
All the stories are available on Live Journal.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Garrett York. Did anyone reach out to you after your series of videos with DGUSA where you talked about your past drug addiction?
Reach out. Well, I don't know what he means by that.
I don't know.
You know, I think the misconception.
Did anybody tell you, "Oh, I've been going through that"?
Yes, a lot of people, and you know, not to ruin people's conception of things, but pro wrestling's fake, and it was really weird. I thought it was really weird that the immediate assumption after I did those videos were these are real. Like that was the immediate assumption. I mean, I have friends, you know, texting me like, "Oh, it's so," and I'm like, "What? You've been around me, like you know how I am, like," and you immediately think like this is reality, like. No, assume pro wrestling's a storyline unless otherwise noted. All
right. Bobby Gross, good last name. What do you feel was your best match this year? Personally, he thinks that it was your match against Shane Hollister at AAW.
Yeah, I like that one. I like me and Adam from earlier this year, January. I like that. I don't know. Best match. It's so arbitrary, isn't it?
Kind of.
Yeah.
There's things
I
you like.
Thinking of wrestling in those terms is weird. Really.
Tom Blackett, do you have any plans to showcase your musical talents again? He'd especially like to hear your version of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh man, if Scarlett was here.
Special request.
She want to do a duet on your show.
I don't want.
No?
I don't want girls on my show.
Why? Are you gonna be in trouble?
No, I just don't think it's interesting.
She could have been in
No
her underwear.
offense. That's not interesting to me at
Really?
all.
Okay.
No.
Good.
There's nothing interesting about.
No,
female-
I feel the same way, but some guys are like, "Oh, girls in their underwear," and it's like, yes, I've seen.
There's so much of that on the internet.
There really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really is.
What is your opinion of the Juggalo fans? I guess you kind of touched on that. And has it changed at all since you first started wrestling for them?
You know, if they don't throw shit, I think they're fine. I've had some run-ins with them though.
And he sends me this question for every single one of them, but I think you're maybe the only one that's. Would you like to wrestle New Jack? Have you wrestled New Jack?
I wrestled Jack.
How was it?
That's fine. It was great.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like
You
Jack.
do it again?
Sure.
Okay.
That's fine. He's easy. Easy,
Mike
brother. Nice.
Kunkel, do you have any stories do you have any John Zandig stories? Have you ever had a run with him?
I mean, I worked for him in late '03, early '04, and we had a run-in after Sabian with black cheese.
Yes.
Grabbed Becky Bayless's ass.
By the way, every time somebody says black cheese, I hear black cheese.
Black cheese, yes, black cheese. He grabbed Becky's
Cheese.
ass, you know?
No.
Okay. So it was at Cage of Death 2003. It was me, Sabian, and shit. Oh man, why can't I think of his name? It's gonna hurt me.
That's the Cage.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was
Justice Payne.
young cruiserweights.
Ruckus.
No,
Josh Provich.
I'm sorry. I know him.
Andrew Abbott.
No, I heard Young Bucks told me he's taking him. Fuck him.
Worst.
And so, I don't know. I don't think they liked the way I was calling the match with them or something. I don't know. Either way.
The Messiah.
No.
The Messiah stuff.
No. What's this guy's name?
I give up. The wife beater.
No, he was a cruiserweight. He teamed
Rey
with
Mysterio.
He teamed with
Psychosis.
the guy in the camouflage pants.
Derek Frazier.
Derek Frazier. Yes.
Fuck yeah, Lincoln Park.
Yes, Derek Frazier.
Stealing my fucking move. Adam Cole gave him a package pile driver at some shit Fed because the promoter asked him to. Because Derek
You say Fed?
Company.
Fed.
French at Fed. Federation.
Federation.
Because fucking the promoter. Because Derek
such a
Frazier's
backyard
stealing my
thing.
pile driver. Go.
Federation for your Can I please be booked for your Federation?
Yes. If I ever run one, you'll fucking be right in it.
Your Federation.
It's gonna be called TWF, the Wrestling Federation.
So Becky gets up on the apron, and for our entrance, and as that's happening, he goes and he takes a big double handful of her ass. And like that was my girlfriend at the time. He didn't ask. If he had asked, we could have done something with it or whatever. But like this is our entrance. We're about to do a bid. Like I tried to climb over the top rope. She would push the top rope down, and I would do that. And house. So he just grabs her ass, and I hop right down the apron. I slap him across the face. He slaps me across the face, and we go and we have this match. And
So you got it together after that?
yeah, fine. We talked after the match and whatever. But I was really upset. I think Sabian put some things on.
This was in CCW?
Yeah, Sabian put some things on the internet about it, and then I got really mad, and then I talked to Zandig about
On Live Journal, I hope.
well, then I responded on Live Journal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. This is like probably the last thing I ever like put out like publicly on like an internet forum of like, bad mouthing somebody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's so like when you're 19, you know,
Right.
that sort of stuff. But I'm old enough to know better. So yeah, me and John had it out. I wanted John, I wanted some sort of repercussions.
Yeah.
And John really wasn't having it. And so then me and Sabian were in a tag match a couple months later. After he put this really ridiculous interview online talking about I did it because I wanted Jimmy Jacobs to come for me and like I wanted to up, maybe I was being lazy calling the match or something in his mind. He wanted to get my aggression out. So then we had a tag match.
What a noble motivation.
Yeah, then everything I did in the tag match was like I was like letting him have it, and then he came to the locker room, started bitching at Mike Burns, who was booking at the time, about it. And I was like, I thought you wanted me to fucking go, motherfucker. I thought you wanted me to fucking go. And I got really fucking mad because of course he's smaller than me, so I'm gonna bow up to him. And then I had a spike in my boot too, and I pulled it out and whatever. Then I got fired from CCW. That's it.
That's a good one.
Zandig.
I liked it. Was there ever any genuine romantic buddings between you and Lacy during your time with her, or was it always strictly a professional relationship?
It was professional. I think there was some sexual tension off camera. I think. I don't. But again, it could be a mistake. But I mean, there's never been anything romantic or physical with me and Lacy. But I think we were close. Like she would pet my hair, but that's not saying much. A lot of people.
Feminine touch, though.
Yes, it was. Like.
Do you still speak to her?
Sometimes, yeah. She's in China now. She lives in China.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Get her PhD in some sort of Eastern medicine.
What matches, this is going to be a self-deprecating answer, I feel it. What matches do you think would have to be included on a Best of Jimmy Jacobs DVD?
Oh, God, there's no such thing as best of. I mean, everything I've done has just been lousy. I'm not sure that exists. The one that Ring of Honor released was pretty good, man. The From Love to Hate, the Jimmy Jacobs story. I liked it. Yeah, I was proud of it.
$5.
I was proud of
Because
it.
they wouldn't let me have it for free.
Really? Yeah, I was. I watched it in an altered state of mind. I thought it was pretty good.
Well, I watched it with perfectly clean mind.
And
I
it's still
thought it was-
good? All right.
What was it like wrestling Eddie Guerrero on SmackDown?
That was really cool. Yeah, I've talked about this a lot, but I just showed up to hang out that day. I wasn't booked, and just hang out with Paul London and Jimmy Yang. They asked him which one of the guys at ringside could sell, and he was like, "Yeah, this kid right here." They put me in there, and Eddie was really, really nice. He was really, the first thing he did was like apologize to me. He's like, I apologize, this match needs to be all me, and I just want to thank you for your professionalism and all this, all that sort of stuff he didn't have to do. He could have treated me like, I was 21 years old, my first time on WWE television. This guy'd already been world champion at this point. Looked at as one of the top guys in this business, and I was just a new kid. He could have treated me however he wanted to. He was very gracious. The gaps in our careers couldn't have been greater, and for him to treat me like that just went to show me that anybody can treat anybody fine, even you can treat ACH nicely.
Not yet. That's good though. It's good to know. Those were Andrew Duvall's question. I like to name their names so that they buy the DVD to hear their names. Brett has a question. You once posted on Twitter that you no longer believed simply wiping was sufficient after taking a shit, and that a shower is necessary. I've heard this theory. So he must ask you, does it ever cross your mind when eating a brought out, I don't want to ask that.
Continue.
That she may have taken a shit and merely, I don't want this on the show.
What does that have to, what is vagina? Like, I don't know.
This guy
I don't know much about the female anatomy. I just know there's a handful of holes down there. One they pee out of, one they shit out of, one they have babies out of, one they bleed out of. There's a handful of more.
I don't want any of this on the show. Let's get that whole piece out right there.
Okay.
He's gross.
The 8 vaginal holes of a woman. Right?
No, I just don't like this guy's question. He also calls himself Horsecock Express. That's his nickname. I'm not kidding. He says all the questions below are from the Horsecock Express.
There he is.
He's not making it on.
Oh.
And Jimmy, I believe this is it.
Thank God. We've been here too long.
I disagree. I think it was very interesting.
Did
you not enjoy your...
I did.
Yeah?
But I have a complex that other people won't find it interesting. Like, I can sit and talk to you for hours, no problem. But then I'm looking at these guys behind the camera, and they're like, all right, wrap this shit up, Jacobs. That's how I feel.
I mean, I thought Freight Train was snoring a few times, but I guess he wasn't, so I
should just hang myself now.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that.
That's right. That's why I have a scarf right here.
Is that just in case? Good thing.
It's ridiculous. Thanks
buddy.